Welcome to a re-unboxing, something we don't do that often. This, my friends, is the Cooler Master CM Storm QuickFire TK fully backlit mechanical keyboard. It has an extremely clever layout, so it delivers pretty close to a 10 keyless size. So for those of you who aren't already sort of familiar with the terminology that goes along with mechanical keyboard shopping, 10 keyless refers to keyboards that don't have a number pad, but this one does have a number pad. So what they've done is they've used the number lock to either enable number pad functionality or arrows, numlock, or rather, print screen, scroll lock, pause, insert home page up, delete, end page down, all that functionality. You can choose whether you have a number lock or those things, which is actually kind of cool. It's available with a variety of Cherry MX switches, including the very reason that we are redoing this particular unboxing, because there is a new option for the QuickFire TK, Cherry MX green switches. So the keyboard includes a removable braided cable as well as a keycap puller, and we're going to use this as an opportunity to show you guys just exactly what a Cherry MX green switch looks like. Ah yes, it looks like pretty much any other Cherry MX switch except for the fact that it is indeed green. But before we get into the typing impressions from both me and Slick, let's do a quick recap of the overall features here. So it has function keys, which give you your media playback, play, pause, stop, backwards, forwards, mute, volume up, and volume down. You've also got a Windows key lock, which can be enabled by holding function and clicking on that one. You can see, yes, it has a backlight. So you can use the function key to control various types of backlightness. So you can turn it on and off. You can adjust the brightness between 5 different levels. And it actually gets extremely bright at the brightest level. Looks very, very, very vibrant. Looks quite nice. And you can choose 3 different modes for it. So you can have it in breathing mode, you can have it in fully backlit mode, and you can have it in just illuminate the WASD keys mode. The other thing to watch out for is when you press the number lock, those arrow keys illuminate. That indicates that you are not number locked, which is a little bit counterintuitive. I wish the num lock illuminated or something like that when you press num lock. And when you are in num lock mode, it has a removable cord as well as a nice set of ergonomic options back here. So you've got nice little rubber feet on the top and bottom of the keyboard, as well as rubber tipped feet that can flip up in order to elevate the keyboard a touch. It does not come with a wrist rest, unfortunately, and that is something that I would have liked to see included. However, it is a fairly value-conscious option in terms of pricing, so you gotta just kind of remember that that comes with the territory. Last thing is with function held, you can press the escape key and either 6 or N to choose between 6 key rollover, which is compatible with Macs and all PCs, so compatibility mode, or N key rollover, which allows you to press all the keys and have them all register even over USB, but not compatible with Mac and can cause some PCs to fail to boot, so you can just change that mode back if that's not working for you. The last thing to cover before we get into the typing experience is the cable management on the bottom. So the detachable cable can be routed either straight out the top or to either the right or left side. This is great for keeping your desk tidy. Now, typing experience. Let's start with the big thing about Cherry MX greens. I mean, why are they so rare? Well, because they require a lot of force to press. At 80 grams of actuation force at the actuation point, that is nearly double what is required for Cherry MX Browns, which are a light tactile switch, and Cherry MX Reds, which are a light linear switch. So both of those are around 45 grams. And it is a full 60% higher than the 50 grams required for Cherry MX Blues, which are considered to be a relatively heavy Cherry switch. So with that said, how does it feel for typing? Well, for me, it was too heavy, just right out of the gate. I'm going to give it a shot in the longer term here, and you guys can stay tuned on Twitter or on the forum or whatever else, and I'll let you know if I change my mind. But I found that it was just flat out too heavy for anything but my index finger and my middle finger. So for my ring finger and pinky finger, it was very unnatural for me to type on it. Now, I am not a great typist. I rarely use my pinky, so it wouldn't have even mattered if it wasn't too difficult for me to press with my ring finger without it feeling a little bit weird. So I'm not necessarily the best person to go, okay, well, he had trouble typing on it, so therefore it is difficult to type on, because Slick tried it too. And while he didn't find it as fast as Cherry MX Blue switches, not even by a long shot, he didn't find the typing experience physically difficult because he just has plain old heavier, stronger fingers to start with. So right now, we're kind of going, okay, results are a mixed bag. It is a different experience, and it is certainly very unique. I mean, it's probably the closest we can get with a Cherry MX switch to something like a buckling spring, or even more like a typewriter feel, where it really feels like there's a long sort of resisting press before you reach that actuation point, but we didn't find it to be dramatically better than some of the other more available and less expensive switches that are out there. Now, I have seen reports of people saying that they bought Cherry MX Green keyboards and got used to it over time, but I think that'll depend on a little bit of a long-term testing session. Now, speaking of getting used to things over time, Audible.com. You guys are likely getting used to us talking about Audible, but do you think you could get used to having a subscription for a new audiobook to listen to every month? I hope so, because Audible.com has just such a service, and like anything highly addictive, the first one is free. I think we've actually talked about The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins being available on Audible.com before, but with Catching Fire coming out in theaters right now, this seems like a great opportunity to bring it up again. The movie is likely to be awesome, but stop me if you've heard this one before. The book is always better. Woo. Head on over to audible.com/Linus for a free trial and to sign up for a monthly audiobook from, again, that is audible.com. And 10 points if you can figure out how many times I said audible.com in the last minute or so of this video. I think we're done here. Guys, as always, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, leave a comment and let me know what you think if you'd like to try out Cherry MX Green switches. And as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.